This is my video submission for the Black Crafters and Sewers Grant through Joann's. My name is Rossi Thomas, and I'm a Pisces. Creativity, spirituality, and empathivity is what defines me, just by right of birth. And when you mix that with lack of resources, what do you get? If you guessed a DIYer, you're correct. A do-it-yourself type of girl because you can't afford to pay anybody else. Now, what do you get with a DIYer has a business idea? If you guess you're just a DIYer with a business idea, you're exactly right, because that's exactly what it is. However, if I became a recipient of your grant, that idea could then turn into an entrepreneurial opportunity for me. Okay, well, now that you have my intro, about 3 to 4 years ago, I started looking into the do-it-yourself crafting world, and I've become amazed. My grandmother is a master seamstress. She's up in age, so she doesn't feel like teaching anyone how to sew. So I began looking elsewhere, and that's what landed me the very first time into a Joann's. And I signed up for classes. I bought supplies. I've taken a multitude of classes at Joann's, as a matter of fact, and I've enjoyed them. Some more than others, of course. No matter how much I wanted to learn crochet and knitting, I'm just not really that good at it. But I'm a little bit better at crocheting than I am in knitting, but I'll keep at it. Another thing of a Pisces, jack of all trades, but a master at none. So I can't kick myself too much, but as long as I have working knowledge is good. So I started learning about 3 or 4 years ago how to sew and beginning quilting, and I'm enthralled with it. The only obstacle in my way is the fact that I live on a limited income. I get paid once a month. I'm a person with disabilities. I live with PTSD, and I have to budget my money accordingly. And the crafting world is, although it's fun and interesting, and it's like a hands-on reading rainbow, you can go anywhere you want to go with it, it's a little bit expensive for me. However, that's where your grant comes into play. And it would mean a lot to me personally, because throughout the years, over the 3 or 4 years since I've begun, I've built a lot of tools and had a lot of materials and supplies that were leading me on my journey to doing just that, being a sewer, a quilter, a jewelry maker. And last year I lost everything. And this past year, going into 2 in January, has just been a rough and a dry patch for me. So this grant would mean restoring things that I've lost and gathering other things to put me in a position where I can begin creating and crafting and building social relationships, because as a person with PTSD, I don't have a lot of family, nor do I have a lot of friends for support. So going to those Joann classes when they were in session was also an opportunity for me to socialize and to build relationships and to establish, friendships where, at one point, Joann's in Northeast Philadelphia knew me just by face. As soon as I walked in, they knew my name, and that was really rewarding for me, both on an intrinsic and extrinsic level. So that is the necessity of the grant for me as well, just to have social relationships, as well as having the financial ability to afford some of the supplies that my monthly income doesn't allow me to afford. And that's one obstacle. A further obstacle of just isolation, and monetarily wise, that's mostly the obstacles that I faced as a black sewer, as not only a black sewer, but a black sewer with a disability. This grant would just mean a lot. Restoration, social interaction, and the ability to have self-power. So I hope that you like my video and you choose me.